Good morning. Happy Friday. So excited. I'm joined by my friend Jamie, and I invited her on because honestly, I wanted to hear all about her new course, the Redesign Your Worth with Human Design. So, Jamie, welcome.
Hi, Kiki. It's so good to see you. It's been a little while, but yeah, new course. Pretty cool.
Yes, I know lots of New Year momentum, new moon momentum, kind of after the holidays.
Yes.
I think we're finally in that 2024 groove. I still write
Oh my gosh.
2023 every once in a
I
while.
was going to say, if you're in the 2024 groove, you're way ahead of me because I've written 2023 like every day this week.
Yeah, no, I'm getting closer. It usually
Yeah,
takes
okay.
me about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I really believe like I'm not very knowledgeable about like the all of the mystical teachings, but I do know there's some places where like the new year doesn't actually start quite as early in January, right? Like there's like this like later time, and I feel like that's true for me sometimes, where I actually start feeling like the new year has really been pumping like at the end of January, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm in it. So
Yeah,
this is tracking for me.
love it. Yes, good morning. Thanks for joining us from Connecticut. So we don't see your name unless you give StreamYard permission, but thank you for being here. Excited, excited. So,
Yes.
Jamie, I know who you are, but you want to share with our audience who you are, what you do,
Yeah.
who you help, all the things.
Sure. I am Jamie Cole Cerna, and I am a solutions coach, and I use human design to help you find those solutions. And if you haven't used human design or heard of that before, it's a system that tracks your energetic authority within your body. Really, there's a whole big um, map of your energy that is based on your birth date, your time, and your location. And once I get a hold of that, I can help you see where the places in your energy get triggered from the external world more than that defined energetic place on the inside. When that happens to people, me, you, all of us, your sense of authority, that knowing that we've always had within us, can really get like pulled right out of us and into the environment. We don't realize it's happening. And I use this thing called human design to teach you what that looks like, feels like, and when that happens, so that you can recognize it and start to create the solutions in your life with your own power, with your authority, and with a sense of worth that you always have. You've always been a worthy, divine human being. And it's time for you to take that power back and use it in all of the places in your life. And that's what I do for people. I did it for myself first. And now I coach women one on one in containers to help them find the solutions to create this. Life that they just have been yearning for, but have never felt like they've had the time or the energy, or maybe not the guts to go beyond what other people think they can do. And you can. None of that is a real barrier. It's just the barrier when your energy gets sucked out and your authority gets placed in those people around you.
I love
I
that.
kind of went on a tangent there, maybe, but that's who I am and that's what I do, I think.
Well, I did ask you a three-part question, so
Okay.
so you mentioned you did it for yourself first. So can you take us
Yes.
back to how you originally got connected or how human design came into your life?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's funny because I have to be honest that human design did not come into my life first before I made very significant changes in my life. So what happened was, in my late 30s, I'm about to be 42. In my late 30s, I was just unhappy and unhealthy. Even though I was in an incredible relationship with a man I was just absolutely obsessed with. I have 4 kids, teenagers that are super cool, but I was internally miserable and I just felt like a mess. I had a pretty good alcohol addiction at that time. I had really enjoyed my wine over the years, and it was getting to be a real daily occurrence. And I was well over 200 pounds and just in a lot of pain in my body.
Mm,
So I started going to podcasts actually and books for self-development help, and figuring out what in the world I needed to do to fix myself. That's how I started, which didn't work. It was not a nice way to be. I was just like feeling like I wasn't okay and I needed to fix myself.
mm,
And what I learned through the course of podcasts and self-development and trial and error was that I had to come to a place of loving myself and understanding what was going on within, and stop thinking about how I needed to be fixed for the world around me to accept me. So I'll give you an example of what happened for me with that. So when I was thinking about quitting alcohol, my absolute biggest fear was not that I would miss wine or that I would be, you know, unsure what to do, how to relax. I was a little nervous about that, but my true fear was that people would think I was a drunk, that people would judge me for stopping drinking, that there would be questions about, well, what does that mean about her? I was
Mm,
terrified. And I was more terrified about that than I was about how sick I was on the inside of my body. And once I started to see that and realize that I needed to really shift my thinking and come into who I am and give myself a chance to like heal, not thinking about what Joe Schmo may say about Jamie's wine addiction, that was when the real work started happening. So I got really into that deep listening to myself and understanding how to make choices, even though I was terrified about what other people would think. And it kept bringing me more and more health and love and wealth and acceptance for myself. And I did have questions around me, but I was able to start understanding how I could either answer them or not answer them and say, thanks for asking, but it's not something I'm going to talk about right now, which is not something I had ever done in my life. So fast forward 18 months, I was completely alcohol free. I had, in that process, started to understand how to move my body and just feel better in what I was doing, starting breathing, doing relaxation things, stuff I had never done before.
yeah.
And I started losing weight and I lost 120 pounds. So I just completely changed my life. And then everybody wanted me to teach them how to lose weight, which did not feel good. That's not what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I went and got a coaching certification to figure out what in the world do I want to help people with, because people are asking me and I know I have something within. I learned something there. That's when I found human design and went, holy moly, there's a map I could have used and it wouldn't have taken me 18 months. I would have known how to do this. Now, I don't actually believe that's true. I needed to learn these lessons, but now I'm so clear about how I can help other people because I've been there. I've done it in so many ways. And I have a map to help you see how to do it for yourself. And so when I came into human design, it was almost as though I had done all the work, that this was like, oh, I can prove that this feels true because I've experienced it. And that's how I approach it with my clients, in that what we do together is to teach you how to uncover your truth and what feels true for you and what works for you, not to put a solution into your life and make that be the thing that works because you have to work that. So it's just a little bit of a
Mm,
twist of coming into real power with human design.
I love that. Well, I'd love to pause and thank you for sharing that story and being
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable with us.
Ah,
Really appreciate
thank you.
that. And yeah, we don't like the darkness, but a lot of times we do get a lot of gifts and skills and real life experience that then we can help others go through the same thing. So thank you for being
Ah,
a warrior and doing that so you could pave the way. I love
thanks.
that.
It's crazy how, like, this is another piece of it, like being able to talk about these things, these darknesses. And I know you do that sometimes too with your vulnerability and how you talk, but just like that we can come through things that we never even thought we'd get through, and then we can talk about it and use it to help others. Like, what a power that we have in this world to be able to do that, no matter how you find that. I think it's just brilliant, and we all have it within us.
100% believe that all the
Yeah.
way. So you do one-on-one coaching, but
Yes.
then you have something new that you're doing this year.
I do. So, one on one coaching is my favorite. We dive in, we get deep, we create awareness right away, and you start practicing, come to me, and then we just build and create. Amazing. However, not every single person wants to jump into a one-on-one container. It's more expensive, it's timely, and it takes a deep commitment. And so I have created this e-course that is self-led, that has videos that each bring you into my type of container of that one-on-one nurturing lesson feel, but then gives you the questions on the back end to work for yourself and get yourself through the self-paced work that helps you come to that decision making authority within you. So it is a course that is designed to help you find your solutions through using your human design chart. It's not a human design course. It's not going to teach you all about your human design with your gates and your channels, but it is going to teach you the basics of the energetics and what that means about your map, how you can understand that, and where your where your authority tends to get triggered more into the external environment, and how you can bring that back in. And so it's my way to try to give you that type of container with that self learning that I did in the first place with those podcasts. But this is a little more directed to give you less than 18 months of finding different resources. And it's at a tenth of the price of one-on-one coaching, so it's accessible for people who maybe do want to go to this next place but aren't quite ready to make that commitment yet, aren't quite sure what even coaching is. Maybe you haven't even touched a coach experience before, and it's like, I don't know, but I know what a course is, and I understand that I want to develop and learn this stuff. So I'm trying to make this more accessible to everybody.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, going back to my experience with a coach, it was very intimidating. You said like the time commitment and then just the call and then the homework and the inner work and self work. Like, what am I getting myself into? Can I commit? And then the self investment, right?
Yeah.
The self love investment in yourself, your business, wherever you're going with it. So I love self paced courses. And I think that's what helped was the bridge for me. Like, I think I
Mm.
started with the self paced course and then I did a group course and then eventually one on one. And each level shortened the time from where I was and where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes. Yeah, and I believe this course, and I think a lot of self-paced courses are like this, but I think this course is something that people will be able to go over again and again. It's like that when you're in self-development, development, it's like cycles. And so when you see something, you get that information and you start to implement it. But if you do that again a little later after you've created some experience and some authority, you can get a whole nother experience. So you've got this course and you've got this resource to be able to just continue to grow with and expand on as you like. So that's my intention, is that it's not just, it doesn't even just have to be a standalone one course. It's these videos should be able to come back and give you some depth beyond the first time.
So they are, it would be lifetime access. You could go back to
Yeah.
them over and over.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
the videos will be located in a private Facebook group. I should probably say that. So this is all private Facebook group, like through guides, and that way there's a forum for question and answer. So I'm not going to be going live much in that group. This is self-paced. However, I am going to have the group will be open anytime you have questions. You can just put a question in, I'll answer as I can, and then we will have a database, a forum of these questions and answers, so that as we grow this course and the people, the community that is interested in taking this type of course, that we've got this question and answer forum to richen all of our experiences together.
Yeah, like a library. Like we're just going to
Yes.
like learn from each other and it's this co-creation energy. I love that. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
So who is this for? Like if I've never had a reading,
Yeah.
do I need to see you first? Do I need to get my chart? Like how would this help
Um,
me?
yes. So this is for the women that make the decisions and that have a little bit of a hard time with that sometimes. So you're in a lot of power, you have influence, you might be running a business, you might have a ton of kids, community leader, in some executive role, and you've got some responsibility on you, and sometimes the ground just doesn't feel solid and you just don't quite know how to make that decision, or you're afraid of letting people down, or you don't want to ask for help because you don't want to bother anybody or get disappointed. That's you. If that's you, you come to me and we can get something started here. Now, as far as the human design component goes, you do need to know your birth date, time, and location, or at least generally like as close as possible to that information. That will pull your human design chart. And that's the first piece of having your chart with this course. So if you do not have that, I can still help you and you can come and ask me questions. However, I wouldn't just buy this course if you don't think you can get access to your chart first. There's other things I could help you with. You don't have to have had a reading, and this is basic, very clear, clean information. So if you've never heard of human design before, you will not get lost in the weeds as far as like all the dots and all the things you see when you pull this chart. It can look a little intimidating, but this course is a very basic, foundational, clean entryway to human design, but a deep personal development course. So if you are a an experienced person in working on development and your own stuff, this is not an introductory course. It will be great for you. But if you're not super experienced in human design, it's not going to be over your head. So I hope that makes sense. So,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
And I have an example. So I think I had filled out my birth chart several times for human design, but I'm going to show an example. Don't freak out. But I didn't know what the heck to do with that.
Yeah.
There are all these shapes and numbers,
Yes.
and some things are filled in, some things aren't.
And
It
so
looks
actually,
really cool, but
so
yeah,
here's what I'm going to tell you. Actually, I'm so glad you showed me that. So in your chart, what you just held up, there's a little white triangle in your chart, and that is called the heart or the ego
yeah,
section of
the
your
top,
chart. Okay. Actually, no,
second,
it's in between the diamond and the right triangle. It's that it's down, 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 and then one over to your, yes, right there. Okay,
that's the
that's where our
ego.
sense of worth lives.
Got it.
That is specifically where a lot of this course sits in.
Okay.
Yours is white, and what that means is that area is undefined, meaning the environment has a heavy influence on your heart, ego, sense of worth area. And so that can impact you or not, but it most likely does in some way impact you. We define where that impacts you by you answering some of these questions, and then we start to unwind how can I make decisions without allowing that to be so much more important than the decision I'm trying to make. And
Mm,
we bring in tools to let that happen. One of the tools is rest and rejuvenation. You wouldn't believe how many people with undefined ego centers do not believe that rest is worthy of them, like that they're not worthy of the rest because they didn't do enough, they didn't do it right, they've got to call, they've got to check, they've got to, no, no,
yeah,
that's
the
undefined.
activity and momentum. Like I have to be doing
Mhm.
something to earn my worth.
Yes,
For
and
me
that
personally, I felt that.
I feel it all the time, and and it's something, just because I'm the coach doesn't mean I don't have an energetic body that gets leaky sometimes. So I have to also work on this, and that's one of my places. And so we do this work, and then we do it again, and we do it again, and it gets easier, and we get tools, and all of a sudden, life is creating incredibly rich, beautiful things that I never could have imagined. And that happens for my clients. It's just a truth. And a lot of it is when we focus in on that one little area. You had other white areas in that big, complicated chart, but we don't have to go into every space to find power. That's all. That's the truth. And that's what this course will bring you to. And then you get to decide if that's enough or if you want to do like one-on-one type stuff or if you find something else. But this is just a place where we can open up the truth of empowerment for women, for all of us. We need this. 2024 is not going to get less chaotic. So if our energy is in the world, our energy is going to get more chaotic. We've got to be solid here. It's just imperative at this point. And I'm trying to get us as solid as possible in as many ways as possible now.
I love that. Well, I know I've had several sessions with you, and we did an interview on Instagram. I think that's how we first started. And
Yeah.
one of the big takeaways there, you were telling me how I make decisions, like with my emotions,
Mm,
and how if I take too, like if I jump too soon because I'm in that high energy state and I don't walk away and really tap into what my feelings are without the environment, then I end up having like that buyer's remorse or that regret or that, oh, why did I say yes to this and overcommit? That was a
yeah.
huge takeaway and has completely changed the trajectory of my life.
Oh,
Just that one thing. Like
yeah.
I've made so many better decisions. My boundaries are stronger. Saying no is easy. It wasn't at first, but it got easier. And then really tapping into what am I saying yes to? What am I saying no to?
Yeah.
Because every time I said yes to someone else, I'm saying no to me.
Yes, yes. So my favorite thing is the no. I believe so. If we like everything in my life, I think of compasses and like guidance systems. So I think of a big circle of a compass, right? And every single notch on that compass is no, except for one. One is yes. You can only say yes once. You can say no infinite amount of times on a circle. But once you say yes, that circle goes to a dot and you're in yes. Then you have to choose no again and start the circle again if you want. And that's fine. Yes is great, but it's not the most important. No opens doors. It allows you to continue to use your energy. Yes, focus your energy into something else and into a thing. So you doing that, like, yeah, like this is all about decisions. So if the one thing you took from me was how you make decisions, then Yeah, I won. I did it. We did it. We did good. I
I
guess
picked
that's
many
pretty
things, but
good.
that just stood out. Like, I like cold food. I mean, there's so many layers, and every time we talk, I'm like, "Oh, what does this mean? What does this mean?" And
Yeah, it really is amazing. I mean, it's like human design is just it is just an art in its own self, and I could talk about it all day truly. And I just want to make it so clear that like you just don't have to know it all. You don't know it all yet, right? Like you said, but the little pieces we learn, we we take in, we see if it feels true. We understand, we start to understand how that senses in our body, and then we believe ourselves and make decisions. And that process gets stronger and stronger. And then you don't have to always look at your chart. It doesn't matter what the chart says because you can feel the truth and you can make the decision.
well,
And
and
that's
I'm
where we want to
glad.
get to.
Yeah, and honestly, if someone like word vomited and explained my entire chart, it would do me no good because we can only process and integrate and then put into action so
Yes.
much information at the same time. So it's like Shrek said, it's an onion, right? You just they're layers.
It's so true. You know, it's so funny. My first probably 6 months, maybe year of coaching and using human design, I totally were vomited with every single person that wanted to work with me. Like I just do one whole hour of like, and this, and telling them about their chart. And I would get wide eyed, confused thank yous and never hear from them again. And I'd be like, why don't they like this? No, it's because I was just throwing information in their faces and they don't know what to do with it. I mean, that wasn't the point. That wasn't the helpful way, and I had to learn like, okay, this information's cool, but we don't all need it all at the same time.
Right. And I'm sure you have client we all process differently. Like
Yes.
I listen to podcasts and things on like 2x speed and Mark's like, what are you listening to the chipmunks? But some people that freaks out and they're like, no, 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 I need to slow it down because the note takers, like we all have different ways
Yes.
that we learn and absorb information. Speed is just one of them. But
Yep.
like, and I'm more of a kinesthetic learner, so I want to do it. So can if
Mm,
you do it with me versus and then like the audio and visual are great, but kinesthetic is kind of one of my top ones. So
yeah. Yeah. I'm actually the same. I mean, I guess I have always thought like I'm kind of an all three learner, but kinesthetic is like my most enjoyed. It's how I tangibly feel like I can like bring it in.
yeah, and I feel like I remember it so much stronger when I have that
Yeah.
opportunity. Like, don't
Yes.
show me, let me do it and guide me. Like I'm
Yes.
like, let's make mistakes. I'm gonna click the wrong thing or whatever I'm learning. And that has been super helpful. But that's not for everybody. Some people want like the whole blueprint, the
Yep.
map, the step by step. They want to see it first or hear someone tell them step by step before they
Yes.
even click a button or do the thing.
Yeah,
So
and there are, I mean, yeah, and there are coaches that do that, and even for human design, right? Like there are actual like human design coaches that will teach you all about every dot and every channel, and that's incredible. I know a lot of that because of some amazing coaches. However, I wanted to get to the depth of integration, of work, of bringing it forward, making the mistakes, feeling disappointment and fear, and going, oh my God, environmentally now I'm not in my authority. How do I fix this? Oh, yeah,
yeah,
I've got a tool. And so bringing it into the real muddy truth of dirty living and getting into embodying me, embodying you, and creating what you want
yeah,
in your life. Mhm.
doing the work.
Yeah, I'm gonna give. Can I just give this crazy example? It's like
Please.
so silly, but I've used it a couple times because I just thought it was so brilliant. So, um, this is with a client, but it's also kind of a personal thing that I was dealing with, solution that I was dealing with for a long time. So, kitchen messes. I have clients that have to deal with big families and kitchen messes, and I've got a big family, and the kitchen mess drives me crazy. And we can talk all day about how to get yourself to ask for help, how to not be worried about asking for help, how to make sure everybody's accountable in the house. Great. Okay. Well, that doesn't address the problem of what happens if I ask for help and they don't help me and then I'm disappointed? Or what if I don't feel like asking for help? What if it's not my job to always ask for help? All of these things, right? So, what I get people to go into is the anchored reason that you don't have want to be in charge of the kitchen by yourself with this whole big family. The anchored reason maybe being there's I'm trying to lose weight and I need time to walk and I want to meditate and I never have time to meditate. And there's this whole business I'm creating, and there are other things in my life that are so important and cool. And if I had 3 other people doing the kitchen with me, I'd have another hour in my day. And we find deeper, true reasons that that are anchored to you to create the reason to make the conversation for the annoying ask for help for the kitchen, and to actually have that conversation with the family. So I've had these conversations with my family of, you know, this is an accountability issue. We've got almost 5 adults in my house now. It's time to start creating a schedule and routine, rather than what used to be me, mom, going, "Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm tired and busy. Could you do the dishes? I don't do." No, that's not authority. That's nothing. That's me.
Mm.
Bleh. So this is like real stuff. Real
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
I love
So
that.
yeah, it's like I don't know if that'll connect with anybody else, but I'm telling you, the dishes one, that's a big life changer for like a lot of my clients. That's one of the ones we start with, is like, yeah, we can change how we're viewing resources and life and accountability and cooperation. It's not all on us, even though we have power.
No. And I love that you brought that up too, because it's not the dishes, it's not the clutter, it's not the shoes that aren't put away, or the clothes, or the toys, or whatever it might be. Because I've been there. I'm like, you live with more than one person typically, and you've got animals and kids, and
Yeah,
the mess they create naturally just for living.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but I love how you said, and you took it back to, well, what is really bothering you about this? It's not that you have to do it, it's what it's preventing you from doing that you really
Yes.
want to do. And I
Yeah.
think that's huge. So, how to have those conversations and stand up and advocate for yourself, because you
Mm-hmm.
are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. Um,
Yeah.
is there anything else you want to share about your course before we wrap up?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if you're interested in the course, you can reach out to Kiki or and I will get you the link for sure. Once you sign up, you will get an email with an invitation to join the Facebook group, and then you can get started. And so it's nice and fast and simple. I'm pretty accessible. You can ask questions. Like I said, this is very self-paced. If you have questions about your human design chart before you want to do this course, like if you need help getting it pulled or anything, that information is in the course, but I can help you beforehand, just so that you feel confident that you'll have what you need before joining. And that's pretty much it. And then finally, just as an aside, we didn't really talk about this, but just because somebody asked me earlier in the week, if the course isn't exact, if you're thinking like, oh, that'd be cool, or one-on-one might be cool, but I don't know. I'm working on a solution call where we're going to be doing a 90-minute. If you have a problem with one of your relationships, or you're getting sucked into this type of stuff, and you just really want to do one session and see what the heck this is, and whether you might want to go down the self route with the course, or whether you may want to go one-on-one, I'm going to have a paid session deep dive as well. So that'll be on there. And I just wanted to say that out loud, in case there's anybody going, God, this sounds really cool, but I just don't know. It would be really
Yeah.
cool if I could just do one first. So if you're interested in that, we can talk about that as well. But the course is ready to go. We are waiting for you. I am so looking forward to just having more and more women stand in their solid footing, in their grounded space, and going no or yes based on what they've decided. And this is the last thing I do. Actually, I do want to say this because this comes up a lot. You becoming an empowered person with your inner authority does not mean you stop caring about the environment around you, or the people around you, or that you lose
Mhm.
empathy, or that you lose compassion. This ups your ability to hold compassion, to hold grace, to hold empathy for them and yourself. And when we're not holding that stuff for ourselves, it is very hard to hold it for other people. We think we are, but we're actually in this like codependent weird place of trying to take care of somebody else based on what we think they need, because we're out there. When we
Right.
come in here and we're in our authority, we can hold that in a real true space for all, and it does create more. It does create more. So that's it. That's
I
my
love it.
spiel.
Love, love, love. So I will grab those links from you. I will put them in
Okay.
the notes so you guys don't have to search for them. I will add those later today. And
Sweet.
then where can people find you? Where do you hang out if they wanted to?
Yes. I am most found on my public Facebook page, Jamie Cole Cerna. That's where I do pretty much everything. Everything flows into Instagram, so I'm also at Jamie Lynn 121. Actually,
Okay.
no, I'm sorry, that's my personal one. I'm at Direct Reflect Expect. So, but Facebook, Jamie Cole Cerna. Find me there. You can find me anywhere else after that. You'll see me most there. And yeah, I will be bringing more content from this course so that you can get little tastes and touches. So follow me, and you know, maybe you'll go down the road I did and just get a whole bunch of information from my content, and who knows what happens. I know my life changed.
Absolutely. No, I love that. And I'll add those social links so people can follow you and find you. So thank you so much,
Thank
Jamie,
you.
for spending some of your Friday morning with us. Always
Thank
love
you.
chatting with you. Thank you to everyone who joined live. If you're catching us on the replay and have questions, feel free to reach out to Jamie, myself, drop them here, and we will get them answered for you. Have a
Yes.
fabulous, magical weekend. Until next time. Bye.